The city of Pineville has officially sworn in Joseph E. Bishop as its new mayor. As Colin Vidros reports, despite the opposition, Bishop is eager to continue to move the city of Pineville forward as Pineville's new leader.
Pineville comes first.
Joseph E. Bishop has been sworn in as the new mayor of Pineville after Pineville City Council members called for a special meeting on Wednesday to appoint him as their next leader. In a 3-1 vote, the Pineville City Council appointed Bishop as interim mayor for the city. Council members Christy Frederick, Tom Bushy, and Nathan Martin voted yes, while Councilman Kevin Dorn voted no.
It's something I've been looking forward to for years, okay? And I'm excited to represent the citizens of Pineville once again. I started my career here on the city council years ago, and I'm back now, and I'm looking forward to working with everybody.
Bishop's appointment as mayor comes after former Mayor Rich Dupree resigned as mayor less than 2 months after news broke of an affair involving the mayor and a former staff member. Bishop will now serve the remainder of the term of former Mayor Dupree, which will end in the spring of 2026.
In a total of 22 years of service, before serving as police jury president of Rapides Parish, Bishop served as a councilman for Pineville City Council for 10 years, representing District 1.
However, the vote for Bishop's appointment did not come without opposition from the public, as some of the audience were dissatisfied with no public vote for Pineville mayor.
There were some issues here that when Rich Dupree was dismissed because of his actions, well, let's not forget, Joe Bishop has some actions too as well that we seem to forget about. You know, he had some abuse charges that was put up against him too as well.
Councilman Dorn, who voted no on the appointment, mentioned his disdain for the process of Pineville's next mayor and does not agree with the appointment of mayor as opposed to a public vote.
Police Jury Bishop is my friend. We've been friends a long time. But my problem is today, I have a problem with the process. How did we arrive to this today? And our trust factor with the citizens of Pineville is fractured. And in our actions today and the way that we're going about this does not shore up those fractures.
Right, you're always going to have 50-50, you know, with people for and people against, okay? But that's where you got to win people over. Show them your ability, how to lead people forward and stuff like that, and do the right things that the people elect you to do in the city of Pineville.
Moments after being sworn in, Bishop has this message for Pineville citizens.
The ripples have settled in Pineville. Let's continue moving this great city forward, okay? We have holidays coming up. Let's all be peaceful in harmony, and let's continue to be Pineville proud.
In Pineville, for News Channel 5, I'm Colin Vidros.
And Bishop says his position in the police jury is currently open, and he will send his recommendation to the Rapides Parish Police Jury. Then the police jury will look to fill the District B position. We'll keep you updated with the latest developments from Pineville as it progresses.